Alright, so let's be real. Stories are everywhere. Sports, movies, TV shows, books if you're into that. I'm not, personally. But the point is, even you and me have our own lore. Anyone can have lore. All it takes is a little trauma and boom. Now you're in a storyline. Most stories follow the same formula. There's a protagonist, the so-called hero, usually the moral compass. Then there's the antagonist, the so-called villain, who gets labeled the bad guy just for pushing back. Usually, they're shown as just causing chaos because they're bitter or have some weak backstory like losing a race in 3rd grade and never recovering. Lowkey, I'd be mad too. That's valid. I feel you, twin. But sometimes the villain's hate is actually justified. Sometimes they're still in the wrong, but you completely understand why. And in other cases, the villain wasn't even bad at all. Just misunderstood. I've got plenty of examples of both, and we're gonna get into it. But before we do, make sure to subscribe to the channel. You don't want to miss what's coming. First up is probably the most obvious one, Killmonger. If you saw the movie or read the comics, you already know where I'm going with this. Everything Killmonger did made sense. Was he angry? Absolutely. But how could he not be? Wakanda did his father dirty. The king rolled up to his crib in Oakland and killed his dad while Killmonger was outside playing. I get why the king was mad. Killmonger's father was selling vibranium to Claw, and that's a huge betrayal. But still, instead of just locking him up, he straight up killed him and left his nephew to grow up alone in Oakland. That's cold. That's your blood. You couldn't bring the kid home and raise him. You left him out there to fend for himself in a dangerous environment. Of course he came back seeking revenge. He made it his mission, and I can't say I blame him. Wakanda created that problem. Next, this one's going to surprise people, but I stand by it. Chef Skinner from Ratatouille. Yeah, the little dude. He was absolutely right. I know the movie's message is that anyone can cook and follow their dreams, and I love that. Remy had real talent, but let's talk reality here. He's still a rat. I love this movie. It's one of Pixar's best, but come on. A rat cooking? That's disgusting no matter how you spin it. And not just cooking, controlling a human like a puppet under his hat. Then by the end of the movie, his whole rat family's in the kitchen helping out. Be for real. It had to smell crazy in there. Skinner was just trying to protect the reputation and health standards of the restaurant, and people clowned him for it. But in the end, the place got shut down anyway, because customers found out. Skinner wasn't evil. He was trying to keep the doors open. Third, let's talk about Magneto from X-Men. Unlike the rat situation where humans were right to be cautious, here, the humans are dead wrong. In the Marvel world, people hate on mutants just for being born different. Even when mutants save the planet, humans still want them gone. Meanwhile, people like Spider-Man and the Fantastic Four get all the love. Why? Because their powers came from accidents, not birth. That's just coded discrimination. Plain and simple. Magneto saw this hate and wanted to stop his people from getting wiped out. The only way he saw to do that was to flip the script and put mutants in charge. I'm not saying I agree with that, but I get it. He's not evil. He's just tired of his people being hunted. And honestly, if humans didn't come at mutants like that, Magneto probably would have been a huge ally. Now, let's talk about someone who gets hated for no reason. Bowser. Yep, from Mario. Look, I'm gonna just say it. Bowser is not kidnapping Peach. That's his situationship. Peach is Bowser's sneaky link, and she's just pretending it's a kidnapping, because it sounds better than saying she's messing around with a giant turtle. Mario has saved her like 68 times, and every time, all he gets is a thank you, or maybe a little peck. Meanwhile, Luigi and Daisy? You know they're doing numbers. Peach doesn't even bother upping security or learning how to not get captured. It's been like 40 years. If she really didn't want to go, she'd figure it out by now. Then you look at Mario Sunshine. Bowser Jr. shows up calling Peach his mom, and she looks genuinely caught off guard. Like, oh, the secret's out. Bowser later says she's not his mom, but that moment was real sketchy. And in Super Mario Odyssey, she straight up rejects both of them in the end. So Mario saves her again, and she just walks off? Nah, she's choosing Bowser every time. Mario's just in denial. Let's shift gears to Red Hood. He's not exactly a villain, he's more of an anti-hero. But he got painted like the bad guy, just because he wanted Joker dead. And So yeah, sometimes the so-called villains were just people who got pushed too far. Sometimes they were right all along. Whether it's Killmonger, Red Hood, or even Bowser, you can't just look at one side of the story. Let me know in the comments who you think was really justified. Don't forget to like, sub, and turn on notifications. More heat on the way.